I got to go diving in a remote island chain over 300 miles off the coast of mainland Mexico with Nautilus liveaboards, and here is everything that I saw. This place is teeming with life, and it just really reminded me of what the ocean should look like. There was abundance everywhere. Not only were there huge schools of fish everywhere, but there was also tons of sharks. The presence of sharks is a sign of a healthy ocean, and this place did not disappoint. If you're a fan of manta rays, this spot is for you. The sharks and manta rays come to these reefs to get cleaned by cleaner fish. And the manta rays are not shy of people. There were many moments when mantas would come right up over my head and fully eclipse the sun. These are also the giant oceanic manta rays, so they often have over a 20-foot wingspan. And we would also see several of these mantas on one dive. It was also my first time seeing black or melanistic mantas. This is due to high levels of dark pigmentation within their skin. The manta rays were not only not shy, but they would actually seek us out because they were interested in our bubbles. Manta rays eat plankton, so I'm not sure if they thought the bubbles were plankton or if they liked the feeling of the bubbles on their skin or both, but I spent a lot of my time trying my best to be a manta ray hot tub. Here you can see a manta ray react to the bubbles and get a little tickle. This was definitely one of my favorite parts of the trip. We were also very lucky to see bottlenose dolphins at almost every dive site. The bottlenose dolphins here are also not very shy of people. They probably very rarely get to see people being in such a remote area, so they were pretty curious about us and would come up and seek out interactions with us. Getting these really close passes and making that eye contact is just amazing. And look at that little baby. These two right here were my favorite bottlenose interaction of the whole trip. They approached me and just kept circling me and making really intense eye contact with me. It's just special when stuff like this happens and you feel a moment of connection with these animals and you feel like, hey, they're just as curious about me as I am about them. So the dolphins were definitely a special highlight on this trip, and I'm super grateful I got to see them. But this last dive site called Roca Partida was probably my favorite of the entire trip. It's basically just a rock in the middle of the ocean with sheer walls that go straight down and tons of cuddly life. Not only are the lobsters cuddling, but the sharks cuddle here at this spot. These little holes in the rock wall were prime real estate for napping. White-tip reef sharks can ram ventilate to breathe, so they can actually just lay down to rest. Any of my dive buddies will tell you that I was freaking out when we found these cuddle puddles. I have always wanted to see them. White-tip reef sharks tend to rest during the day and become more active and hunt at night. So as the sun began to set on our last dive, we would see them come off of the rock walls and begin to display mating behavior and even hunting behavior. This beautiful remote island chain is a marine protected area, and it definitely goes to show that if we put the proper protection on these areas, there can be so much beautiful abundance and life in the ocean.